Explain to me in which case we use future perfect continuous tense.
The future perfect continuous tense is used to describe an action that will be ongoing or continuous at a specific point in the future. It is formed by using the auxiliary verb, will have been, with the present participle form of the main verb, ing. Here are some examples of when we use the future perfect continuous tense. Duration of an action up to a specific point in the future. By next year, I will have been studying French for 5 years. Emphasizing the length of time an action will have been in progress. She will have been working on the project for 3 months by the time it's due. Speculating about the possible duration of an ongoing action in the future. By this time next year, they will have been living in the same house for 10 years. Predicting an ongoing action that will continue into the future. They will have been training for the marathon for 6 months by the time it takes place. Overall, the future perfect continuous tense is used to describe an action that will be ongoing and still in progress at a specific time in the future.
Give 5 examples for each case.
Sure, here are 5 examples for each case. Duration of an action up to a specific point in the future. By the time I graduate, I will have been studying at this university for 4 years. By the end of the month, they will have been living in their new apartment for 3 weeks. By the time she arrives, I will have been waiting for her for 2 hours. By the end of the year, they will have been running their business for 5 years. By the time the concert ends, the band will have been playing for over 2 hours. Emphasizing the length of time an action will have been in progress. By the time I finish this project, I will have been working on it for 6 months. By next summer, he will have been living in this city for a year. By the end of the day, she will have been practicing her piano for 3 hours. By the time the train arrives, we will have been waiting at the station for an hour. By the time he retires, he will have been teaching for 30 years. Speculating about the possible duration of an ongoing action in the future. By the time they finish their studies, they will have been studying abroad for 2 years. By this time next year, I will have been working at this company for 10 years. By the time they graduate, they will have been studying medicine for 6 years. By next summer, they will have been living in their new home for a year. By the time the election takes place, he will have been campaigning for 6 months. Predicting an ongoing action that will continue into the future. By the end of the year, they will have been saving for a trip around the world for 6 months. By the time the baby is born, they will have been preparing for the arrival for 9 months. By next winter, she will have been training for the Olympics for a year. By the time the project is completed, they will have been working on it for a year and a half. By the end of the semester, they will have been studying for final exams for 2 weeks.